I 25 female once cheated on my husband 21 male at a party whilst drunk. He found out today because the man I slept with messaged him. I apologize profusely but he won't forgive me. What do I do? Okay, so 2 years ago, I was invited to a party by my coworker, E23M at the time. I was 23 and my husband was 19. My then boyfriend was aware of this and let me go by myself and told me to message him when I needed to be picked up. At the party, though I got drunk and hooked up with E, we were both drunk. I didn't tell my boyfriend because I loved him and didn't want the relationship to end. He proposed to me the same year, and we got married at the beginning of last year and moved in together. I quit my job around this time and got hired nearby our house. Today, my husband asked me to sit down and that we needed to talk. He took out his phone to show a conversation between E and my husband. It reads something like this: E. Hey, is that my name? In your profile picture, my husband. Yeah, she's actually my wife now. Why, E? Dude, how long have you guys been together, my husband? Ever since 2018, so a few years. Do you know her? Bro, I slept with her at a party in 2019, my husband. Are you ing with me right now? Nah bro, she cheated on you, my husband. When did you guys have sex, E? Ike, sometime in August at a party, my husband. Thanks for telling me, E. Sorry bro, you got to find out this way. My husband. Glad you told me. I didn't know how to react, so I just apologizing saying I was drunk, etc. He asked if it was consensual, and I replied that we were both really drunk. He then texted E asking who started making moves first, and he replied a few hours later, but before that time he kept asking me what I thought of E, how long we knew each head into his hands. He stood up and said he's going to his parents' house and will come back tomorrow. In the meantime, I should start packing my stuff up and that we will discuss our relationship tomorrow. I started crying more and telling him I was sorry and that it was only a one-time thing and it never happened again and never will, and he raised his voice telling me that it's my fault, our relationship is ruined now. I really don't know what to do right now. I am so upset that this happened since we just got married last year and our anniversary was coming up. Story 2. How can I, 18F, figure out how my friend, 22NB, feels about me? We met off a dating site 2 years ago and immediately hit it off. Unfortunately, we lived almost an hour away from each other and neither of us had cars, so we decided not to date. We stayed friends, except for the occasional slip-up, and both have had romantic feelings for each other a good portion of the time. Unfortunately, they struggle with depression and what I'm thinking might be bipolar. Because of this, they often make impulsive decisions, such as starting jobs they quit after a month, going back and forth on a career, getting engaged before we met, and jumping into things with girls that they think are the one, only to be dumped a month later. Recently, they started talking vaguely about 2 girls who they couldn't decide which he liked more, before deciding on Sarah, who turned out to be me. We tried to date for a month, but they put no effort into it. They just started a new, more tiring job due to being $2,000 in debt, and felt bad that they couldn't pay for things in our relationship. Because of this, they were more distant, even when I tried to communicate the best I could. It hurts me when you only want to go one or 2 dates a month, act. After some talking, they told me that I made them feel different than every other girl they knew, and it was hard for them not to think I'd be the perfect girlfriend, along with wondering why they couldn't be a better partner too, and they couldn't figure out if that was true love or just some really awesome friendship. Not sure if it matters, but we also have similar bedroom interests that can be hard to find in other people. Another issue we're having is me planning to move out. When I gain the financial stability and graduate community college this spring, I'd like to move into an apartment away from my abusive family. They always wanted to join me, but financially it's not seeming possible, especially when the car they bought a few months ago, a super cheap race car, is breaking down beyond repair. It's hard for me because I could never imagine my life without them. I want to be in a relationship with them, but I know they have a lot to work on mentally and physically before we ever could. Honestly, it feels like our ages are reversed most of the time too. I really like them a lot, but with them not knowing about me and always going back and forth throughout our entire friendship, what could they feel about me? Story 3. My boyfriend doesn't want to spend Thanksgiving with me. Am I overreacting? My M20 boyfriend, M19, have been together for about 7 months, at least half a year. He lives about an hour and 30 minutes away from me, so we only get to see each other every other weekend if we're lucky. This is going to be our first holiday season together, which I was initially really excited about. He's already met my immediate family and my mom likes him a lot. I've only met his mom and stepdad, but they don't like me because I'm not a very straight-edge guy. Whatever, neither of us particularly care about what his mom thinks because he doesn't like her anyway, and I've done nothing wrong in terms of hurting her son or keeping him from accomplishing his goals in life, etc. The rest of his family, he told me, is pretty nasty and very homophobic, so we both mutually decided that neither of us would be attending his family's Thanksgiving. That's fine. I then assumed that he would be coming to my own family's Thanksgiving instead. Well, last night I had the rare opportunity to see him. When Thanksgiving came up in conversation, he told me that he would be spending it with his friend instead. I want to stress that I am not an extremely uptight or overly protective person. I don't have control issues or trust issues of any kind. We have very well-established boundaries with each other and live pretty separate lives due to the distance, so we each have plenty of freedom, etc. However, when he told me he would be spending it with his friend Mary instead of me, I became immediately upset, and I don't know if I'm being dramatic. He doesn't understand why it's an issue. On my end of things, I feel like I rarely get to see him, certainly not as much as I want to, and this will be our first opportunity to spend the holidays together. I thought he wanted to spend more time with me and my family, but I guess not. It just hurts. Not to mention, he's already spent Thanksgiving with Mary before, but he's never spent it with me and my family. I figured it would matter more to him if he really cared about our relationship or took it as seriously as I do. Am I overreacting? Am I being dramatic? It's probably not as big of a deal as I'm making it out to be. I might just be very sensitive because of our distance. Edit, I didn't mention this above, but I assumed he would be coming to my family's Thanksgiving because I did outright invite him, and he did say he wanted to or was interested because he wasn't going to see his own family anyway. Again, homophobic and generally unpleasant company, his words. The change to go to his friend's house instead is sudden and, to me, a bit random. I also told him that he's still invited to my house, and he said he would think about it. Now look at some opinion. I wouldn't want to spend Thanksgiving with the family of someone I've been dating 7 months either. There's just a lot that goes with that, and most families are into their own internal affairs so much that being an outsider at holiday dinner is just not that fun, and sometimes stressful since the holiday expectations can stress other people attending too, especially if you have some non-nuclear family that might attend. He probably just would rather have a relaxed time with someone he knows and where expectations are lowered. At your place, he'd have to really be on his game. I did consider that, which is why I'm trying to keep myself in check and make sure I'm not overreacting. I just thought that he already knows my family likes him, so to me it wouldn't be a big deal. But that's just me. I don't want to project onto him. Thank you for the input, it's much appreciated.